What's up, people? It's your boy. I'm Chris the Dom One, and I am back with another video. Rate, comment, subscribe. Since you subscribe to me, you might as well hit that notification bell, so when my next video live stream goes down, you'll be the first to know. Yes, sir. Also, if you want to send a donation or two to your boy, that is acceptable. The super chat feature is now available, but you don't have to. Just sit back, kick it, and enjoy this free entertainment. Okay. Now, with that being said, let's get into today's topic. This article is coming from BleacherReport.com. I suggest you guys read the whole article. But Tyronn Lue is excited. And he said, quote, his new teammates, but what they recently acquired in the draft last week, is surpassing his expectations. All right. So let's talk about Tyronn Lue's expectation. What could he been thinking when he heard that he was going to get rid of Derrick Rose, Dwayne Wade, and I know I'm forgetting some other, IT. When he left, when the Cleveland Cavaliers organization finally traded those acquisitions because there was mouth contenders, and they really didn't add anything as far as a team from a performance basis or a talent basis. Okay, not to say none of those guys I just mentioned ain't talented, Jay Crowder included, but they were sort of kind of one-dimensional, and they all had different agendas, particularly IT, Derrick Rose. They're trying to compete for a big paying contract in the offseason. And I even stated in recent videos that that's going to be further from the truth for those two individuals, because the money is not going to be right this offseason. All right. I've been saying that even during the summer, and that's why I sort of leaned to the point of view of I don't see LeBron James leaving the Cleveland Cavaliers. Right, even though there's opportunities, he could go to the Houston Rockets, he could go to the San Antonio Spurs, he could go to the Golden State Warriors, he could go to the Milwaukee Bucks. All right, he could go to those, or even the Philadelphia 76ers. Some people feel like he likes the talent over there at the Philadelphia 76ers, but will he have the same impact, control, flexibility, and power structure he already has with the Cleveland Cavaliers organization? Chances are no. Oh yeah, and the Los Angeles Lakers and the Los Angeles Clippers. There have been rumors out there that the Los Angeles Clippers are trying to clear cap room so they can acquire LeBron James in the offseason. But I've been telling you guys since day one of the summer last year that I don't see LeBron James leaving. Why leave a good thing? Okay, he's got everything lined up and situated up with the Cleveland Cavaliers organization. He has more say so and control with that organization, and that's the main reason why he left the Miami Heat. Not because the Miami Heat didn't want him, not because the Miami Heat were not trying to contend. It was a simple fact that the Miami Heat organization, which is currently run by Pat Riley, Pat Riley was not going to give LeBron James that type of flexibility and control or say so in the Heat organization. They demonstrated it during his time there. Okay, LeBron tried to flex his muscles, so to say, with the Miami Heat organization, and they were not having it. All right, that's why he went to Cleveland, because he was able to do the things that he is able to do now. Okay, he has a voice in the room. A lot of organizations are not going to do that, but that's neither here nor there. I always sidetrack from the main story. I noticed that about myself. But anyway, let's get into Tyronn Lue's expectations of the team. So it makes you wonder what type of expectations he was thinking about these new acquisitions. Probably he wasn't thinking title contender. He wasn't thinking contenders in the East. But the results of this trade has sparked and surprised a lot of people. Even LeBron James, he's got a new he's got a step in his game. He's energized, and he's doing something that a lot of NBA veterans, a lot of NBA analysis, a lot of NBA analysts, GMs all have stated. LeBron James is, if you believe that you're one of the best players, you know, the ideal of trying to collect other superstars to your team, you don't necessarily have to win that way. Okay, you could be you can clearing attraction of your team, and maybe you'll have a close two like Kevin Love. But if you got players that know their role, they're not going to demand the ball as much. They're not going to ask as far as inducting plays for those individuals. If you have a team like LeBron James has right now, where he is the go-to guy, you don't have to worry about having a big three in Cleveland. Okay, so LeBron James has finally realized and woken. He sort of got woke, okay, by a lot of other superstars that's been saying, veteran superstars, ex-players who've been telling this to LeBron James for like 4 years now. You can do it by yourself with the players, the cast of players you have. Tyronn Lue is a solid coach. Even though you and Dan Gilbert don't get along, it's not like you guys are going to go out and go to the movies or eat. It's a business professional relationship. You don't need to be friends with your GM or your owner, okay? So LeBron James got it made from the Cleveland Cavaliers perspective, okay? Yes, him and Dan Gilbert don't get along, but as far as businessmen, as far as these two individuals, the direction they want to go with the Cleveland Cavaliers organization, is pretty much they pretty much have the same thought. Okay, Cleveland Cavaliers don't have a bunch of eye guys; they have team guys. Okay, Rodney Hood even quoted saying, "LeBron James Batman, and we're all Robin." Okay, and I think that's the attitude you're going to have to take with LeBron James. LeBron James, when he has the ball, he presents a lot of opportunities for his other teammates. You know, they're not going to be contested tightly when he passes the ball to them. Chances are to get a better look and a better shot at the ball. Okay, and they're young, athletic, and they got length and size. Okay, so that goes a long way, particularly when you're playing teams like the Golden State Warriors, who have scores, but now you got players that can keep up with those types of players. Now, at the end of the day, they're playing the regular season, so the pressure is not that real in the regular season. The Cleveland Cavaliers have a winning record. It's not like these guys went to Cleveland Cavaliers and they're like 11th in the East. You know, they're at the bottom of the barrel and they got to work. They started from the bottom, now they got to work their way up top. It's not that. They have a great record in the East, and they're still going to contend for the top 3 playoff spots. They might end up getting the #1 spot if Boston continues to struggle. Particularly, they got players that are, the rookie wall. They hit the rookie wall. So If Boston doesn't turn it around, there's a possibility that the Cleveland Cavaliers could get the #1 spot, okay, or turn it around quick enough. So these players that they acquired, they don't have a lot of pressure on them, okay? They just simply go out there and play basketball. They don't have nothing to prove. Nobody has an agenda, all right? Everyone knows their role. Now, in the regular season, I think the Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron James, Tyronn Lue, they're going to flourish in the regular season. The problem occurs in the playoffs when it becomes a half-court game. A lot of these guys I mentioned, they don't have a vast knowledge or playoff experience. So when the lights get at their brightest, you may see a little slippage. You may see a lack of concentration, so to say, okay? Because they're not familiar with those surroundings when it becomes a half-court game. The players that they acquire, they can play a full-court game. They can go up and down the court. They can defend. They all have decent offensive skills. So that opens up the court to play a full-court game. The Cleveland Cavaliers, with those other players that they traded, they were playing mainly a half-court game. They're trying to condense their style of play to half-court, and they will lose to teams that are playing a full-court game, okay? Now, like I said in a lot of live streams and a lot of videos, do not believe the hype, particularly this winning streak. You have to realize the people that they have done beaten. They've beaten the Atlanta Hawks, who they supposed to be, even with their old roster, okay? And they beat the Orlando Magic. Yes, they blew the doors out with the Boston Celtics. All right, and last night they beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. Okay, I think J.R. Smith did some phenomenal things in that game. Okay, yes, they have beaten two good teams in Boston and Oklahoma, and two teams that are fighting for the NBA draft when you're talking about Atlanta and the Orlando Magic. Okay, two teams, by the way, those two teams a couple of weeks ago, the Cleveland Cavaliers had a hard time beating those teams, Orlando and Atlanta. All right, so I think a lot of people, particularly when you go to ESPN, Fox Sports 1, BleacherReport.com, Yahoo.com Sports, NBC Sports, CBS Sports, a lot of people are drinking the hype Kool-Aid, thinking that now the Cleveland Cavaliers are the beast of the East. I think everybody needs to slow down a little bit. Okay, let's let this new core of players at least play 10 games with each other, like we did in the beginning of the season, when everyone had certain doubts about Derrick Rose and IT and those individuals. People allowed them to play through it. Particularly, they allowed them to play through until IT got on the court. That was like a quarter of the season, okay? Before we can say the Cleveland Cavaliers are done, put a fork in them, okay? Now they played 4 games. That's not even nowhere near the slack we gave them in the beginning of the season. And now people are saying the Cleveland Cavaliers are the beast of the East because of this 4-game stretch. I still want to see them, particularly in the regular season. Here's some things I want to see before I start giving the crown to the Cleveland Cavaliers. One, how do they contend with the better teams in the East, like the Milwaukee Bucks, the Boston Celtics, even though they blew the doors out with the Boston Celtics, okay? But let's keep it real and keep it a stack. Gordon Hayward is injured for the season, so that plays for the Boston Celtics to have the record that they have, without that player, and then they're playing rookies. That speaks a lot to the organization, Danny Ainge and Brad Stevenson. Okay, how they position that team. Okay, and I also want to see the Cleveland Cavaliers when they play up against Toronto, and when they witness their first losing streak. If they lose back-to-back games, how will the team respond to that? You want to see a team respond through the tough the tough avenues versus the easy stretches. Okay, that's where you base whether or not a team is good or not. Okay, which even with the old roster the Cleveland Cavaliers had, I still think they was going to be in the playoffs. And I even stated that at the end of the day, even though Boston, Toronto, Philly, and Milwaukee, well, minus Philly, uh, you know, they have successful times with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they are improving. However, when you get it down to a half court game, which those core players were better at a half court game than a full court game, could you beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in a 7-game series? Okay, that's asking a lot from when you're talking about Toronto, Boston, and Milwaukee. Okay, and we're only talking about the East. I'm not concerned about the West when you're talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers, because the Cleveland Cavaliers play the East teams more than the Western teams. Okay, and I want to see how they match up with the Golden State Warriors. Okay, time is going to tell on that. Okay, really, the only thing stopping the Golden State Warriors are the Golden State Warriors. They are so bored of the regular season. Steve Kerr got them. Steve Kerr got them coaching themselves. Okay, I thought that was a funny thing. Okay, so he's trying to add more energy and trying to keep the team on their toes, because really there's no competition for the Golden State Warriors. People want to assume it's the Clippers. I mean, not Clippers, the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets are good offensively, but let's see how Joe Johnson plays a part with the Houston Rockets. He's an ISO player. He's not the type of player that you can sit in the corner and he's going to catch and shoot. He's been in the league long enough. He's not going to tweak his way of playing basketball now at the stage he's in. He's going to be the same Joe Johnson he always has been. Okay, so we're gonna have to wait and see how that is integrated with the Houston Rockets offense. Mike D'Antoni, he's clever on the offensive end and how to import players into his style. Okay, so people thought that James Harden was going to be a work in progress with Mike D'Antoni. The only problem I had with Mike D'Antoni and James Harden was when last year they tried to implement him in the point guard, and I thought they were trying to make a reincarnation of Steve Nash, excuse me, and that experiment failed because James Harden is not built that way. Okay, that's why they went into this offseason and they traded for Chris Paul. Okay, and I was the one who said, I was pretty much the only one in the room that said that experiment with James Harden playing the point, that's not going to be, when you're talking about long-term goal, a solution. Maybe short-term, but not long-term. Okay, but that's neither here nor there. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but toot. All right. So the Cleveland Cavaliers, we have to see what they do when you're talking about when you're talking about all of these new parts and how they play into the role, and we have to see when the road gets rough for the Cleveland Cavaliers, when they are presented with their losing streak, when they are presented with players that's just not their night. They're going to have more of those instances where a player simply just can't get it. It's just not their night. okay? Because these players are not specialists, okay? They're not one-dimensional players, which is a good thing. They are a jack of all trade, but a master of none, okay? So when the game gets close and when the game gets tight and the other team figured out a way to keep LeBron at bay, or when LeBron panics and wants to be a facilitator, when he wants to just get everyone else involved, all right, uh, how are these players are going to perform, particularly when the light get at its brightest? I feel like LeBron James sees the writing on the wall, and that's why he's embracing these players and trying to get the best out of these players now. So when you need them the most in the playoffs, they will respond and perform better. Okay. And LeBron James scoring 30 points. He's averaging 30 points. To me, I think LeBron James need to take a few points off and try to incorporate these new players and try to build confidence in them. So when you really need them the most, they will help you. When your game, when they DN you tied up, or like the Golden State Warriors, I think. And another thing is, a lot of people are not saying this, but the Golden State Warriors figured out a way to beat the LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers, and it's simple. You just let LeBron just be LeBron. LeBron, he's not going to try to outscore you. LeBron James, he's going to get his average, and he's going to try to incorporate the other players on the court to make shots, okay? LeBron James is not going to be like a Kobe Bryant or a Michael Jordan and take over a game, which he should, okay? With this new roster in place, he should have games like that where he's taking over, all right? He should be the dominator, okay? He should be the go-to guy that's going to get the last shot. LeBron James is not built that way. I feel like in long term, in short term perspective, short term goal, these new acquisitions are going to work great with the Cleveland Cavaliers. But in long term, LeBron James is going to have to tweak how he confronts a game. He can't be the facilitator. You know, he doesn't. Those players that they traded away, like Dwayne Wade, IT, Derrick Rose, even Kyrie Irving. You don't have that player to where you can say, okay, I don't feel like this is going to be my night. It's going to be you guys' night. Okay, any one of the guys that I had on my roster, it's going to be your night. Okay, LeBron James can't have that type of mentality. He has to have the mentality of I got to be the aggressor, okay? And when they start doubling and triple teaming me, then I'm going to kick it out to these other players, okay? The pressure has to be on LeBron. LeBron can't present the pressure on the squad, okay? So his mentality is going to have to change if he wants this to really, really work. And the Golden State Warriors have proven the easiest way to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers is just wait. LeBron James is not trying to be the aggressor. LeBron James is going to kick it out to these other players. Let's just guard these other players, all right? And as long as LeBron doesn't become the aggressor, we'll beat this team, okay? So LeBron James' attitude and the way how he goes into a game is going to have to change if they think they're going to be able to win a championship. Because teams like the Golden State Warriors, teams like the Spurs, they're going to present matchup problems for Cleveland. Now they have talent that can keep up with these with those squads, but on the offensive end, when they're scoring, when they scored a tough basket, when they score on a double team, when they score with a hand in their face, okay? And when it's time, when it's time for them to take it down the court, They just can't just rely on only LeBron and Kevin Love. Kevin Love is not that type of player that's a catch and shoot type of player. Okay. Kevin Love, the reason why he was scoring a lot was because of the talent that was around these two guys. Okay. I think when Kevin Love come back at the end of the season, uh, you know, first of all, there's rehab, and he's not going to be the player that he was a couple of weeks back before he got injured. Okay, obviously during rehab it's going to take a while for Kevin Love to get back into the swing of things, to get back into the flow of things. But I feel like a 60% Kevin Love can help the Cleveland Cavaliers in the playoffs and also in the finals, particularly if LeBron James has to become has to incorporate these other players that they just acquired, install confidence in these players, and we're going to have to see. But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. Please hit the notification bell so you'll know when my next live stream or video goes down. Super chat feature is enabled. If you want to donate to a brother, that's cool as well. Guys, and also share this content. Share my YouTube channel so other people can get into this free entertainment. It's your boy, I'm Chris Don One, and I am out. Deuces.